Jewish holiday of Shavuot is associated with all kinds of dairy dishes. But why? To find out about this odd connection, joining us now is Jamie Geller, an author, public speaker who is behind bestsellers such as Queen of Kosher and Jewish Rachel Ray. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Emily. I love hanging out with you. It's fun to be here.
Me too. It's so nice. Two Americans living in Israel and taking on the world. Good for you.
Correct. You too as well.
We're trying our best.
Yeah.
So tell us kind of how you, first of all, you've been successful in this space for a while. What's it been like since you've come to Israel and pursued your passion and doing it from the Holy Land itself?
It's been so amazing. I'm so glad you asked that question because for many years we wanted to come, but I was scared for my career. What would that change mean? And I have to say we've only seen the blessings of the land since I've come here. Actually, Israeli food took off and it's had a moment globally in terms of its prominence and its interest, and it was just a wonderful being like broadcasting from and shooting from and sharing food from and speaking from the Holy Land has completely changed even my stature, my view on the world, and people's interest in what I have to say. So it's been nothing but a blessing.
So you're still pinching yourself.
Yes, correct. 10 years later, and I do not take a moment or a day for granted. Not the view, not the spiritual infusion, and not the fact that I'm here.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about the the richness of recipes. People will associate, okay, kosher, it's very basic. So you're really showing that you could make fine cuisine and it could still be kosher and taste delicious.
Sure.
Why is this so important to you and to others to know that they could really make the best of what we have to offer?
Well, first of all, it's important to the people that obviously keep kosher, that we want them to have the same culinary experiences as anyone else. We don't want kosher to be seen as a limitation. A lot of people think it's kosher dietary laws, and laws have this negative connotation, but it actually is really, it's a spiritual, it's beautiful, and it can be just as delicious as any other cuisine. And kosher is the laws, but we can have, Israeli kosher, we can have Italian kosher, we can have Asian kosher. So any cuisine, Ethiopian, Russian, all the cuisines are open to us, and I wanted that to be clear. Also, I recently joined AISH. It's a global organization dedicated to teaching Jewish wisdom as the Chief Media Marketing Officer, and one of the things that we do is teach Jewish wisdom to the Jewish people, help them connect to their heritage to ensure Jewish continuity. So for all the Jewish people who are not even considering being kosher or think of it as a limitation, it's a wonderful opportunity to show them that it's an open palette for them to explore, just as exciting and enticing, wonderful to be connected to the holidays with kosher food, and so that's important as well.
So let's get to Shavuot. What is the, I grew up in the States. I didn't grow up in a religious family, so I didn't even realize the dairy part and how strong it is until I moved to Israel. Why is Shavuot all about dairy?
Okay, so for Shavuot, we are actually celebrating the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai over 3,300 years ago. God gave it. It's divinely given to the Jewish people. And part of that is the kosher dietary laws that we were talking about. So that's the first time that the Jewish people as a nation heard about slaughtering animals in a certain particular way so that they're more humane, or not mixing meat and dairy. That part, obviously, most of us know. That's the basics that everyone knows.
That's the law.
Right. So basically, their meat that they had slaughtered and prepared for where it's not kosher, their pots and pans were not kosher. The milk and dairy products had been ready before, so they actually ate dairy after receiving the Torah at Har Sinai just because of that reason. It's very interesting, but there's 7 other deep Kabbalistic reasons, and if you go to aish.com, you can learn all about more.
Yeah, well, so what are some of the, give one good example.
Okay, so another reason is that Torah is likened to milk. We saw Eretz Chalav Udvash, the land of milk and honey, and Torah itself is likened to milk, and the numerical equation is equal to Torah, Chalav in Hebrew, and dairy, so there's another idea behind that as well.
Wow,
lots of nuggets of Jewish wisdom.
Yeah, there's lots. It's amazing how you just find more and more and more.
Layers and layers and layers of meaning.
For sure. Now, explain also what's enjoyable about Shavuot for someone like you who is a natural in the kitchen. I can't relate personally, but but that's why your work is good for people like me, because I'm like the kitchen.
It's for you. It's freaking kosher. It's simple and easy. I, by the way, was not a natural. When I got married, I didn't know the difference between a spatula and a saucepan, and I didn't care. I think we spoke about this before, but I was a TV producer at HBO and CNN, never stepped a foot in the kitchen. My dream was not to be a balabusta, which is like Yiddish for Martha Stewart.
Yep.
So I learned on the job. So if I can do it, you can do it too. All the recipes are easy. It's so much fun to get in the kitchen. Cheesecake, it's the cheesecake holiday. Balinces. If we go into Ashkenazi food, lakshin noodle kugel. We also go into deep, like I love to do a lot of Italian, so I'm doing stuffed shells this year for the holiday, but it's really, really fun, and we have a ton of amazing, easy recipes on h.com
Awesome.
you can check out.
Awesome. Now let's just deter a little bit to Ruth. I mean, we're here, we're talking about Shavuot.
Yeah.
We love biblical Ruth. I think a lot of times people, aren't necessarily focusing on that. They're focusing on the holiday of Shavuot, but we're two women. So let's talk about the meaning of, our biblical matriarch Ruth, who the holiday also honors.
Well, it's amazing. Well, as we know, she's the mother of the Davidic dynasty, and so that's really, really special. This holiday celebrates her. I love the holiday so much. I actually have a stunning painting in my house of Ruth and her daughter-in-law Naomi, and her mother-in-law Naomi, who were coming on their way back to returning to Israel this time. She really left everything. She was the daughter of a king. She was a princess, and she left everything to come with her mother-in-law to be part of the Jewish people, not knowing that she would eventually become the mother of the dynasty, of the Davidic dynasty. So it's quite an unbelievable story. I have chills just saying that.
I know, I just got chills too.
Our luck and our circumstance in an instant can change. When we make decisions from the right place, then the whole world is open to us, and royalty comes from her. So it's unbelievable.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jamie, and it's really good to chat and hang out and keep up all of the good work and inspiring all of us, including us non-balabustas.
We'll make you one now, sooner or later.
I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there.